Hello again, fourth graders, and welcome to session 5 of our literary essay unit. Today's session is called Using Stories as Evidence. In our connection, writers, you'll remember that during our essay unit, after you write your thesis statements and plan your supports, in other words, your reasons, you each became a researcher, collecting evidence that would allow you to make your case. Many of you will decide that one of the best ways to provide evidence for the supporting ideas in your essay is to select moments in the story that capture the idea you are putting forward. Today our goal is to remind you that when you are telling a story, in order to provide evidence for an idea, you need to angle that story to highlight the way it supports and connects to your thesis. What do we mean by angling your evidence? Well, to help others see your convincing evidence, you essentially need to take the reader by the hand, bring him or her to the same moments that you studied, and help the reader come to the same conclusion you came to. We'll practice this by thinking back to a few small stories that we can use from Fox that help to support that dog is a good friend. Choosing a story. It helps to reread the text and clarify the timeline of what happened. When we are working with a short story, finding and storytelling small moments can be a challenge because often you are zooming in on a teeny tiny part of the story and telling it in a really stretched out way. For example, the episode where Dog saw the good in Fox only took a tiny bit of time in real life. I'll really need to stretch that out so that it works as a story. I might tell about how first Fox came to the bush. Then Magpie is scared, but Dog says, "Welcome, we can offer you food and shelter." Third, Fox compliments Dog and Magpie on their running. Finally, Dog beams with excitement. But I don't want to just tell what actually happened first, then next, and last. The challenge will be to tell this in ways that pop out the fact that Dog sees the best in others. Remember, that's our thesis statement. As we read my entry, look for places where I used our chart to help me angle my story. Dog is the kind of character that sees the best in others. For example, one day, a fox came to the bush where Dog and Magpie lived. Fox moves through the trees, easily it should say. Magpie trembles at the sight of him. But Dog doesn't see the bad in Fox. Dog does not tremble like Magpie. He is not scared by Fox's haunted eyes. Instead, he is excited that Fox has come to visit their cave, and Dog welcomes him in for food and shelter. Did we angle this particular brief story as Dog being a character that sees the best in others? We did, didn't we? So today, as you go off and look for evidence to support your reasons, I want you to begin by finding a story that you can angle to use as evidence. Remember to do a couple of things. First of all, find a part of the story that fits your reason. Again, we're using the same book that you've been using the last several days with your special character or characters, and you're going to continue to use that book throughout this period of time. Once you find a story that supports your thesis statement from yesterday and supports your first reason for that, you're going to be writing that down. You're going to be using that today, and that's number 3. But to help you, I want you to use point number 2, and that is the ideas from how to angle a story to make a point chart. We'll include that for you so that you can look back at that to help you. And then finally, what you're going to be actually doing for writing is writing the story in a way that leads the reader to agreeing with you. You're trying to make a point. So, writers, today, make sure you angle your story to make a point using the chart. Of course, starting with finding the story that you want to use from your book, and then putting pencil to paper. Go ahead in your journal and begin to write your story. It can be a couple of paragraphs long. that leads the reader to agreeing with you by supporting at least one of your reasons. We want you to do at least one mini story. We call them the mini stories for one of your reasons. I wish you well, good luck, and please get started.